Here? Can you hear us? Is this the Greyhawk channel? Is there anybody alive out there?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
this is Greyhawk nowhere. Can you hear us? All right.
SOS.
Some of you may not know.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and if you can see me and you can hear me, much clearer. Okay. Please let me know. I'm going to take a minute to kind of discuss what's happened here for a second. Before we get into the fun aspects of D&D, I'm going to tell you about the terrible aspects of streaming D&D. One of those things is a 3-letter representation. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because that 3-letter representation has caused me all kinds of grief. And right when we went live here on our very first episode of Valley of Soot Skull here on the Greyhawk channel, that 3-letter representation looked at me in my computer monitor and said, nope. Grimjack, nope, not today, buddy. I'm going to go somewhere else. And when it went somewhere else, I would like to say that I felt a little sick to my stomach. But hey, we're back. We're ready to rock and roll. This is Valley of Soot Skull. This is the premiere episode here on the Greyhawk channel. And please don't hold the last 20 minutes against me. You can. You know, you absolutely can. You can wave it over my head like the sword of Damocles, and I will accept it. But I'm going to make it up to you. And if you give me just a few seconds, I will show you how. So before I introduce these characters and these players, I'm going to let you know just a wee little bit about the Valley of Soot Skull. This is a quest in the traditional late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s version of Dungeons and Dragons. Back when Greyhawk came in a box and you cracked it open and you were able to fold out your map and take a look at exactly where you wanted to play and where you wanted to go. This is a quest. It is Arthurian. It is a time when people are called to do things that others cannot. And as we delve into that and we figure out the lore behind such a quest, now is the time where I'm going to introduce everybody that you see on your screen. So let's start right above me as we talk to Lauren. Lauren, tell us about yourself and give us the name of your character and just the driver's license information, if you will. We'll get more into her in a bit.
Hi everybody, my name is Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. Play lots of games around the internet with Greg and Encounter Roleplay and all, and also another game on the Greyhawk channel. Lots of fun. And tonight I am playing Wilhelmina Swan, but if you call her Wilhelmina, she will destroy you. She goes by Billy. She's kind of a famous scholar around these parts. Gets herself into trouble with her mouth. Take that as you will. That's me.
All I got was trouble with her mouth. I have that noted down, and we will drop down to Brew. Brew, give us the driver's license information of your character, and let me know in advance if there's also trouble with your mouth, and I will just simply make a hash mark.
No, there's no problems with my mouth, unfortunately.
His mouth works great, thanks.
Yeah. No, I'm playing Rexarian Daylorn. He is a middle-aged former mercenary, now paladin in the service of Tritharion. And he's a devotion paladin, so he's devoted to helping others, and he's looking to do what he can to ridding the darkness that's affecting the land, even if it means, going out at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, any edition, that is a paladin quote for the ages. He's here to do what must be done, even if it means going out at the end. As a DM, there's no better sound in the language of this here role-playing system. Let's cut over to the mysterious man in the polar bear mask. Polar bear mask man. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, yes, I am Pro Restarter. I'm the Polar Bear Man. You can see me playing a lot of games on the Greyhawk channel and around as well. I will be playing Grey Fox, Varus Nilafea. That it's me. Super happy to be here. Hopefully I don't die. Fox mask.
Okay, so to recap, so far, everybody, we've gone with very good with her mouth, ready to go out in the end, and fox mask. So with that type of lead-in, Heavenly, take us away. What have you got for a character, and just give us the base, the bare bones information before we get into this here journey.
I'm Tis Aliens on Twitter. Some of you might know me from Monster Crush Podcast, and I'm really excited to be playing with the Greyhawk channel. Thank you for inviting me. I will be playing Gidnup, though you all can call her Giddy, and she is a gnome monk. Just left the monastery. She's a little overwhelmed with the world, little nervous. Will be a very different character than I think anyone is used to seeing me play. So...
Good. Again, good with the mouth, ready to die, fox mask, and nervous. Now we're getting somewhere. And so as we end our go around with all of the players and their characters, Eris, give us your blurb before we get into this here journey.
Oh gosh, save me for last, right? So I am Eris. I make dice trays and bags and play a lot of D&D. Tonight I am playing Kaylee, who is a wood elf druid monk, and she basically just travels around looking for a good time. But you know, if someone starts to screw with the natural order of things, she's gonna have to stop and take a break real quick and deal with this stuff right here. Hold on.
Nice. So to recap, good with the mouth, ready to go out, fox mask, nervous, and Eris, what was your end quote?
I don't remember. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Let me grab my tree. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I put you on the spot. All right, everybody. So as we get into that, and as the fun and the games have passed, and as we delve into this story, I'm going to be telling it a little bit differently, as we are going to start somewhere in the middle. And as we start somewhere in the middle, it's usually a different place to tell a tale of the one that you want to tell. And so, my players, forget everything that you've just said. Forget everything where you believe your characters are supposed to be. And see the following. Each of your characters covered in grime and ash and soot. They are pulling themselves off of a ground that is filtered with the same ash and soot that is covered on their faces. Sweat, tears burning from this grit that has invaded their eyes. Blue hair stained a mottled purple. Other hair matted to cheeks. Rexarian, as he looks up, any facial hair is coated dark and muddy and gritty as the ground is pushed beneath hands as you reassert your hold on gravity and take your two legs beneath you. And as you stand there in this foreign place, an older woman with you, her white robes covered in the same dirt, barely white, more gray, but still a beacon in this very static, very stale, very destroyed landscape. And that's when your eyes turn to the sky and the clouds that are there. Gray. You would think that there's a storm brewing, but it doesn't smell like it. It smells dry, as if the air itself is devoid of any type of moisture, yet above you clouds remain. And then you realize that those are not clouds. It's smoke. And the smoke moves. And you see it ripple almost as if an inverse of the earth beneath you is above you, and some type of burrowing animal is clawing through the smoke, creating some type of tunnel, some type of wave of earth, only flipped upside down. A nauseous type of understanding and perception as you look and you see this tunnel going through the smoke. Again, a ripple. And so you have come. A voice comes from everywhere. And as you spin, trying to pinpoint exactly where it is, trying to give some type of orientation in this blasted space, it comes again. I've always known you would come. I have prepared. I have waited. Again, above you, it ripples, but gives away no other position. You have come for the valley, for its treasure. But it is not unprotected. It is not without an owner. And here you are. Such small things. Again, this heavy beat. And in front of you, finally, all of you turn as one. The woman in white, seemingly at the forefront, she sees a point in the distance, high in the sky, as it begins to descend. A great, glistening red mask as it breaks through the smoke. An ancient beast. Larger than anything you've ever seen that draws breath. And as it comes in, you see a glow begin in its eyes, in its throat. And as it looks, you all see it smile with these needle teeth, feet in length. And it opens its mouth and breathes. I'd like everyone to roll initiative for me, please.
Y'all, I have goosebumps. I literally have.
Right.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Rude. That is rude.
I TT'd a little.
Daddy fucks.
Natural 20.
Lauren, what is up
Yes,
with you?
Greg? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, that's so bad.
Okay, everybody, I will let you know that Lauren, Billy is first, and it looks like Giddy is second. And Lauren, you are actually going to beat your adversary.
Death.
Yep.
Yeah, that. Great. That's exciting for me. Huh.
Okay, so initiative order is as follows. Lauren, the enemy, Giddy, Gray Fox, Eris, and Rex. But before we do anything like that, we go back several days.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
So keep in mind where you are, ladies and gentlemen. Chat, keep in mind where you have just seen these characters, but we are going back to see how they arrived in the middle of the tale as we go to a mountaintop. And on this mountaintop stands a lone structure, a monastery, if you will. Very Spartan, neatly kept, the grounds manicured. And as everyone the camera kind of dips into all of this, we see an older man as he is tall with long features of the face, angular, whether it be from time or from fitness or from birth or from genetics, we don't know, but he is a tall rod of a man. But this rod is bowed as he is ancient by the standards of humans. And as he comes forward, he opens up the door of the monastery and walks in, and there he sees the last of their order. Giddy, will you explain yourself for us?
Like what I look like, or explain myself?
Explain yourself. No,
I quickly
yeah,
put
just
the book I'm reading
describe
under the
yourself for us,
mattress.
please. Yes, describe yourself. I'm sorry.
I'm a gnome. I have very short hair. I look exactly like myself. No, I'm joking. Wait, hold on. I think I muted my mic. Can someone say something?
No,
Yes,
you didn't.
You're
we
good.
can hear you.
Okay.
We could hear
No, I
you.
couldn't hear you guys. Sorry.
It's
We
best
were
to
being
check
quiet
tonight.
for you.
It's a tech heavy night. So I'm a gnome. I'm very small, dark skin, short hair, and I don't have any tattoos. So in contrast to Yaza, who has lots of tattoos, or rather the man that we just saw, a sneak peek, who has lots of tattoos, I myself have none, and I'm just wearing simple cloth spun gown, unadorned, simple colors, no jewelry.
Fantastic. And
Just-
so,
Just a basic bitch.
right, as the man known as Yaza comes forward, he looks at Giddy and, without any type of an emotional attachment, but with all of the respect in the world, he nods to her and says, "The time has come, my child. Our order is to present a champion. I was to go, but my time is over. I need you to..."
I will go.
"You must."
It would be an honor to take your place. You've done so much for me already. The least I can do is carry this last burden for you. For us all.
You take the remnants of our order with you. All that we are, all that we were, all that we ever will be. It is a terrible burden, my child. But I know you can carry it.
It is
I've
no
always
burden.
known.
It is an honor. You've raised me. You protected me. This is what I must do.
Protection. I fear it is your turn to repay the favor.
Master, of course. When do I leave?
You leave now. They don't know they
Well-
are expecting you, but they will be expecting you. Lord Homer in his citadel at Almanfort, you must go. Tell
Will I
them
be
you-
able to say goodbye to anyone? One last
No.
stop in the village, perhaps?
They must not know that you're going. There are eyes everywhere.
Yes, Master. I understand.
I am sorry. I
I will
very
gather my
sorry.
things and leave immediately.
Child. And perhaps for the first time, Giddy, you see that there is a break of emotion across Yaz's normally stoic, angular, now bent and bowed face. I am truly sorry.
For what?
For destiny.
I don't know what to say to that.
He just, for the first time, bows to you.
Okay, I'm gonna start crying already.
As he turns and slowly, with a kind of a hitch in his gait, he moves back into the monastery proper, and in the meditation chamber, he kneels down and begins to pray. Giddy, what do you do?
I don't follow him, but I watch him leave, and I close my eyes and I just listen to the last, what is probably a familiar prayer, something that I've heard for years, every morning, every evening. And then I very quietly leave. I don't take anything with me. I have my bow on me. Excuse me, my staff. I have my staff on me, and I don't need anything else. And so I leave.
And as you leave from the monastery and you hear what is normally, if any visitor were to appear at the monastery and do what Giddy is doing, to listen to the surroundings, they would be baffled to try to find or pick something out because of the silence. But to Giddy, it is almost an orchestral call. You can hear the creaking of the wood as the wind blows through one of the loose shutters on the second floor. You can hear everything, the tiptoe of the cat as it chases a mouse. All of these elements that created the music that was Giddy's life to this point. And it seems to be playing one last song for her as you leave. And as you quit the monastery, Yaza stays in the meditation chamber, and this, of course, Giddy cannot see. But Yaza stays there until he passes from this place 3 days later.
Okay.
So as the camera pulls back from the mountaintop, and as we see the last of the order dropping from the top of the mountain to her destiny, we go deeper into the countryside as the camera spins through clouds and not smoke. And as it drops down, it finds a forest. And in this forest, we see a blue-haired woman walking. And as this blue-haired woman is walking, she would notice as she was passing through these deep forests without trails and paths, unbroken by man or by beast, there is a small red sealed letter resting beneath a river rock on a fallen tree. Eris?
Haley will take a look around and see if there's anything that looks like it was obviously the thing that left the letter, or any trace of someone coming through that would leave the letter.
You are looking around, and as you're looking around, you can roll a perception check for me and then describe to us what she looks like.
Kaylee has long, wavy blue hair, about down to her waist. She has many piercings in her ears, her long elven ears. But other than that, she doesn't wear much in the way of jewelry or adornments. Nothing seems to be glittering on her. She wears a plain white linen shirt that's kind of tied up, and some brown slacks that are fitted but not binding on her. They're tucked into some nice worn leather boots, and she carries a staff which basically just looks like a mini oak tree. Her eyes pierce the forest as she looks around.
Well, as she would look around, she would see, leaning maybe 100 yards away, a man in a deep blue cape is sitting there. And with a perception check of 20, she would also notice that his right hand is missing and that the sleeve of his shirt is pinned up against his forearm. And he sits there, his remaining left hand just crossed loosely over his belt. When he sees you and he sees you looking at him, he raises his only hand and waves.
He looks down to the letter and nods at him, says, "Is this yours?"
No, it's yours.
"Are you the messenger?"
Yes, I delivered it.
"Who is it from?"
It's from a man named Homer. He calls himself a lord.
Many men call themselves lords, but are they really? Who rules what?
I agree. Are you the guardian of this wood? The one that the villagers talk about?
Guardian. Kind of. For now.
Some people call themselves guardians. But are they really?
Some do. I protect things, but I have no home. So, while this may be my wood for now, maybe not tomorrow. She'll bend down and pick up the letter and start to open it.
As you're doing that, he raises his left hand as not to make you stop, but to keep your attention. Would you like my words or the words of a man that calls himself a lord? I can tell you
The
what
word.
it says.
Oh, well, I'm quite interested in handwriting. It tells you a lot about a person. But what would you like to tell me?
This man that calls himself a lord needs your help. That is all you need to know.
Is he worthy of help, do you think?
I think that were it not terminal, I would not have been sent with a letter. I believe he needs you and the others more than anything. And that is why I am here.
Well then. I think this sounds like quite an adventure. Let's go.
At this moment, too, you would feel a warmth and a whisper. Something that it appears that Reynard is not aware of. Just a... And if you roll another perception check, I may be able to tell you more.
Well, I will definitely do that then.
Damn.
Jesus. It's coming
Love-hate
from...
relationship with roll 20.
It's coming from your person. And you know the pocket it's coming from. And you know the item that is making the noise. It is a small acorn.
She kind of pulls it out of the pocket and looks at it a little bit. Does it say anything else?
It's saying something, but it's just whispering, just breath on the wind.
One of these days that'll make sense. She will continue on to officially read the letter and then get headed in whatever direction she needs to go.
Reynard waits, and as you read the letter, it is exactly as described, only with much flowery language, as Lord Homer begs you to go to his citadel at Ammonfort, knowing that you are the guardian of the land, or the one that the villagers call the guardian of the land, the one that is helped, and he is asking you not as a subject, but as an equal to come and talk with him. He has something of great import on which to ask you.
She kind of snorts as she reads it and folds it up and puts it in a pocket. All right, let's go meet this flower.
He needs your help, right? And that's what Reynard says as he gesticulates with his one hand. I told you. Lords,
Oh,
they use 20 words when the rest of us use one.
or none.
Or none. I can travel with you if you would like. I have a few more stops to make.
That sounds like fun. I always like company on the road.
As do I. If I ever need to tie my pack or put on my cape, having an extra hand around. I'm sorry, that's an old joke from the army, but yes, let's go. And he
Oh, I
begins
liked
to
it.
walk.
It was good.
He begins to walk off, and as the camera pans back, if there is such a thing in the world of Greyhawk, as the camera pulls back through the clouds, we see the sun rise and set several times as it speeds above these beautiful white clouds. And as it comes back down to earth, we see riding along a plain beside a road, an older man, resplendent in armor, still straight of back, still broad of shoulder. Brew, tell us about Rex.
Rex is a veteran fighter, a mercenary. Used to be a mercenary. Now he's switched over to the life of a paladin after being called into service. He outwardly he is congenial as he can be. He is warm as can be. Uh, Inside, he is always doubting. However, um, not necessarily a grim countenance, but or stern, but not mirthful either. More of a neutral face. He's got a short black beard, graying, short black hair, also graying, and several scars over his hands, a few on his face. He's clearly seen a lot of battle.
The proverbial world of hurt, as it's expressed in the roadmap of white lines and bruised flesh across the face of Rex. Rex, as you're riding, you see that there is a blue-haired woman and a man in a dark blue cape standing along the road. And as you turn to regard them, the man raises his hand, his only hand, and waves.
We'll return the wave and
He
say,
gestures for you over.
and I would ride up next to him and dismount, present myself. I am Rexarian. Are you in need of aid? Are you in trouble in any way?
The banners have been called, knight. Lord Homa requires you. You are Rexarian, correct?
I am Rexarian Daylorn. What is the peril that we are currently facing? How much can you tell me?
You are a knight, correct?
I am.
Well. And he kind of Reynard casts a bit of a look towards the blue-haired woman's way. And maybe perhaps Rex doesn't see the wink. The Lord summons with his flowery words, knight. But I'm here to tell you that it is the greatest of calling. Are you ready?
I am ever ready. Well, I will go right now.
Good. Leave your horse. You will not need him.
Very well. Now I'll take my possessions off of the horse. Take my pack. Sling over my shoulder.
Okay, and as Rex
Please
joins...
don't kill the horse. Don't kill the horse, please. Please don't kill
And as they're walking away, the horse kneels down in a meditation chamber. And that's where it stays for 3 days until it passes. No, the horse is fine. In fact, Reynard allows you to give the horse to the first people that you come across. I will let you know now that we have 2 travelers traveling along these roads here in the Shieldlands that there are a number of refugees that are beginning to kind of form. You see many wagons and carts and families laden with possessions as they are traveling from the north to the south. They seem to be heading in the same direction as you are. Anyone familiar with the land would know that this, in fact, is towards Emonfort, which is the citadel of Lord Holmer. There seems to be something occurring. The rumors of war seem to be more than that, as refugees usually only appear when rumors become fact. And as the camera pulls up again, leaving our 3 travelers on the road, above the white clouds that know no things as war or talks of peace, and as the sun moves again and sets, rises and sets, we come down upon a small inn by the name of the Strider Rest. And as the Strider Rest is sitting there, and as it is filled with very dour folk who are drinking away their days, there is one person in particular who is, while cloaked, a bit more jovial than the rest, perhaps, but that is a story for Pro to tell, as he explains to us Grey Fox.
Yeah, Grey Fox is adorned with a very like thick, detailed fox. It has intricate carvings and actual like fox fur. His skin underneath is clean shaven and kind of a light pale blue. His cloak that he kind of keeps up, so you really see is the mask, is deep purple, like lavender, with silver spider web weaves. And he currently has his bow at the side, and he's drinking down an ale.
And as he's sitting there with his bow, drinking down the ale, what is his demeanor? He has heard the rumors of war. He has heard that there is potentially a great force heading from the north. Is this something of concern for Grey Fox? What is his view on the plights of others?
He's seeing the wars. He's heard the news, and he kind of has a stoic demeanor. He doesn't really let it show. But if anyone seems to be needing of aid or seems to be distraught, he'll help them. He knows that people like to prey on the weak and the distraught, so he's looking out for that.
So as you're sitting there, you see that 3 large... You've seen mercenaries before. These are mercenaries. And as they bump in, you see them begin to scan around the room. And it doesn't take them long to peer through the faces of refugees and the downtrodden and the hopeless to fix on the one that seems to be drinking ale with a purpose other than to forget. And they begin to push their way through the crowd towards you.
Can I help you?
And are you currently wearing your mask beneath your hood, enough for them to
Yes.
be able to see?
I always wear the mask. If we kind of had a 3D view, you'd see my kind of bright green eyes just kind of staring down my long elven ears, as he kind of just like sits back a bit, readying himself for what may come.
The largest and perhaps the thickest of them says, as they pull within the table, "I told you he was here. The man in the mask. You're worth a lot of gold. Quite a bit of gold. In these troubling times."
Gold is nothing for a dead man. I'll buy you an ale and you can leave. Or you leave in a body box.
There's big words from a man too scared to show off his own face. But see, there's 3 of us. and there's one of you behind a mask, I like my chances.
I see. And I'll sit back and I'll kick up the table in front of them, spilling the drink and kind of stepping back as I grab my bow and notch an arrow.
Let's roll some initiative.
Ah,
15.
Rightio then. Let me see what these boys can do for you.
Let's do it.
Natural 20. Well, that is a interesting way to start, isn't it? So,
Chances are looking good.
Yeah.
Gotta die in a bar fight first game. Good job.
And that's when I bring up my second character.
White Fox.
right. So as these men are pulling forth hand crossbows to fire, from another table, we see a blue-haired woman, a knight, and a man with one hand, as Reynard says, "That's him. The one that's going to get shot in a second." I'm going to allow Aris and Brew to have a surprise round on these two, if they are these three, if they would like to do something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Do we need to roll initiative?
I got.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
got a
got
surprise
those.
round on them. They do not know you are there. They are not
Okay.
looking at you guys.
I'm going to cast Entangle on the area.
Okay. What's the dex for that? Or what's the dex save? Your
It is
It's a strength
check.
save.
DC
strength,
17.
with an 18, as describe to us what the entangle spell looks like as it begins to erupt through the boards.
I guess it would be vines and different weeds have just completely grown up through the boards, kind of cracking the wood slightly, and starts to try to tangle around the feet of the people who are instigating this fight.
Now, Eris, I am not a botanist. I am certainly not a fantasy botanist. But were I both a botanist and a fantasy botanist, would these vines and plants seem to be native to the region? Or would they have any type of special qualities to them? Would they perhaps be from another area? And if they can easily be whatever you tell me to, I'm just trying to, in my own non-botanist, fantasy botanist mind, trying to see exactly what they are.
Well, I'd imagine Kaylee would be working with the land that she was in, so it would be all the native plants, all the little seedlings that were kind of underneath the ground when the building was made. They just all kind of sprouted and came up.
Awesome. And with that, I believe that we have our first, and we've had it for a bit, some divine favor has come in, everybody, from the beautiful people of chat. As I struggle to figure out exactly what I want to do here, we see these native vines come up and begin to try to incorporate or entangle these people, but whether it's by surprise or sheer force of moment, these three thuggish mercenaries are able to kind of flex and break free, their thick forms splintering the native foliage as they are completely shocked and awaiting whatever is at the end of Rex's plan.
All right. So Gray Fox clearly is the one that Reynard pointed out to me, correct?
Correct, yes.
All right, and I can probably definitely tell that it's mercenaries that he's going up against, since I believe I would recognize them pretty quickly, or that that's their type. I'll go ahead and cast bonus action Shield of Faith on Gray Fox.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Shield of Faith, and that gives an immediate, was it a +2 AC to
So
you get-
so Gray Fox will get a +2. Yeah.
okay.
Nice.
Gray Fox gets a +2 AC as you kind of snap this in. Just so we kind of get a taste of the flair for how Rex calls upon the blessings of his god. Explain that for a bit. Just everybody kind of does it a little bit different. Some just do the traditional Spartan grab of the holy symbol. Some people have more ornate prayers that they do, just so we can all kind of capture it in our mind. How does Rex do it?
He grabs his holy symbol, which he does wear around his neck, and he grabs it, and for the briefest second, as he motions over towards Gray Fox, he says, "You are protected by me. I will not let you fall." And then he immediately rushes off. You would feel it. You would feel that you are somehow shielded by it. You probably may not have felt it before. And then as soon as he's done that, he'll rush off and draw his sword and get ready to start the smiting.
Thank you,
Okay.
stranger.
So you feel this divinity drop over you as I am going to have the gentleman up front is still thinking gold despite the craziness that has come upon the area, and he takes a swing. Does a 14 hit Gray Fox's
No,
armor
my
class?
armor class now is 19.
Okay, so as he kind of he strikes true, but with a combination of faith and skill on the part of Gray Fox, the hatchet that the man is wielding scoots to the side, sinking and severing into one of the vines, and then cutting into the floor that has been slightly sundered and split by the emergence of these entanglement vines. As he's looking, you see the other two men that don't seem to nearly have the confidence or the strength of heart as their probably more inebriated leader. They begin to run towards the back of the bar as they see, perhaps more so than their inebriated leader, that it is no longer 3 against 1. The odds are even, and they do not wish this fight. Gray Fox, you have the man in front of you with a hatchet. His two friends are tucking tail and running through the back.
Yeah, so I think Gray Fox, using his martial agility, he's going to technically use a key point to do a disengage as a bonus action. And he's going to just kind of kick some dust up from the floor and do like a backward spin. With his movement, he's going to just run up the side of the wall, run up onto the ceiling where like it kind of meets the wall and the ceiling, kind of crouch over and just take shots at the man.
As he's standing upside down, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I stepped on your line. What did you say to him?
No, I was gonna say you picked the wrong night, my friend.
And as this man with the clumsy woodsman's hatchet stuck in the floor as he's trying to pry it out, looks up and sees the fox run up the wall and stand upside down and deliver this line, the only thing that he can think is, I think I did pick the wrong night.
It's a 13. I'm guessing that misses.
No, that hits him.
Okay, he takes. I did a sharpshooter, so that's 23 damage for the first hit.
Yeah, that's all you need as he takes the shot, and the second to last thing that goes through his mind is, yeah, I picked the wrong night. As the last thing is the head of your arrow as it pierces out of the back of his hair. It messes up his part a bit. He had a really nice part going, but it kind of messes it up in the back and he drops over dead on the ground. There are a couple starts and stammers in the alehouse, but soon the Strider's Rest is back to its somber tone as two of the barbacks come out, drag the man outside, and throw him in the mud. And they offer you a beer for your trouble.
I put like some gold down and I say, for the mess. And the others might have seen the arrow that was in the guy's head burn up in a kind of greenish purple flame. And I kind of just jumped down.
Right. At the emergence of people witnessing the burning up of an arrow in greenish hellfire, you see several people they dip more into their bowls and their mugs as they drink, and a couple of them offer signs to different deities as you see several, initiations of prayer kind of go as gestures among the crowd. The man with the one hand who was leaning up against the wall returns the sword at his left-hand side back into its scabbard, realizing that the group he is with would never have needed a one-handed man to handle these three thugs. He simply looks over at Greyhawk and waves him over.
Well met. Thank you, sir, for your aid. I appreciate it. Please, take the next mead or ale on me and throw down some coin.
Well, I have a proposition for you, Mr. Greyhawk. You have heard of Lord Homer here in the Shieldlands?
I kind of pause for a second.
He has heard
I
of
have. Many have.
Many have heard of you as well. And he reaches into his vest and pulls out another letter that he sits down, and it's got a red seal for the House of Homer on the outside, and he touches it, and he's again with a wink towards his two companions. Would you like to know what it says?
I look towards all of them, and I see the elf there, I believe, and I say in Elven, "Is this man to be trusted, cousin?"
In Elvish, she says, "Seems to be okay." And then she waves her hand, and all of the vines and all of the leaves like retract through the floor, just kind of leave it kind of splintered.
You see that there's a child that was with one of the refugee. It follows the vine as it goes down into the ground, as it had a bit of a flower on the end of it, and then they kind of shoulder slump a bit as they return to their family at the table beside them.
I hold the letter and I open it up, and as I'm reading it, I just say, "What do you think I should know that this letter doesn't tell me?"
I was unsure of how many words you would like to be told that you were being summoned. I would simply say that you are being summoned. There is a great prize, and the people need you. Lord Homer would use more words than that. And he says in Elvish, "Don't worry, I'm all right."
Well, that's good. I'm always in for the people. I'll hear what this lord has to say, but I make no promises.
He requires none. He just wishes to speak with you. You can deny him his request. You are free to go. And whether or not you decide to stay or listen to his words, any crimes that you are being accused of have been pardoned. Any bounties have been paid. Those men were fighting you for nothing. That man died for nothing. You need not wear the mask should you not wish it.
And he kind of looks towards the man. I'll keep it on for more reasons than one that I wear a mask.
Good. We all have our things. Except the knight. He's pretty straightforward. And he smiles at Rex. Yes.
Let me ask you one question.
Please.
What do you think of your lord? I'm going to pay close attention to him.
I think he is desperate. I think he will not be a lord much longer.
I see. And what has he done to help his people?
He has summoned you.
So nothing so far. All right.
Or everything.
Yet to be seen, my friend.
Well, let us look as the way that society would look upon you, as he gestures with his one hand. We have a guardian of the woods, an old knight, a criminal. If you see anything about
Sounds like
my
a
lord,
party.
that's why I volunteered to come. So, if you see anything, Mr. Fox, know that my lord is making changes to his way of thought. And I believe those should be applauded for as long as he is lord.
Wise words. I sit down. May I join you?
Please. And he sits in and kicks the chair across underneath the table out, as I assume everybody returns to their seat at the table here in the Strider's Rest.
Actually, the building we're in, you described it earlier as being filled with refugees, yes?
Correct.
Okay. Rex is going to start milling about the crowd looking for any of the refugees that may need assistance of any kind. People he may be able to heal, especially children, things like that.
Okay, so as Rex begins to kind of filter through, you quickly get a crowd around you as people are coming up with, more than anything, travel injuries. Somebody twisted an ankle. Somebody has, carrying large packs, have worn pieces of flesh on their shoulder blades as these ill-fitting kind of constructs have just given them wounds that they, the skin isn't tough where it is being rubbed against. And it keeps you busy, and you are inundated with thanks as people are, marking the name of Rexarian. And, the kids, especially when they see a knight, something that they may have seen in a distance, but never one close and never one using the type of magic that Rex is, where they see wounds knit and heal, and their eyes are saucers as they watch. The one child that was originally playing with the vines now just follows Rex around, just waiting for him to do something else. And so this begins to continue, but even as Rex is performing all of these things, several of the children continue to cast a glance back at Kaylee as a elf with blue hair that can make plants come out of the ground at least is equal to an old knight that can make people feel better. And so as it and a man in a mask and a man with one hand. And as the camera pulls out of the Strider's Rest into the sky and the air above this dying land, we go again above the clouds as they turn sunrise to sunset, sunrise to sunset. And we come down upon a road a bit north of where we were as we see these people that are continuing, these refugees. The very thick stream of refugees has become thinner now as whoever was going to leave the north has either decided to stay or has done so already. And Lauren, tell us what Billy looks like as she is there among these people, marking the sad descent of how is she catching their eye? I'll put it to you like that.
Oh no, I apologize in advance. So Billy is not walking. She is cradled in what looks like a large kind of white outlined hand. And is kind of gliding a little bit away from them. She is wearing, let's see, what does she look like? She's a half elf. She's got slightly pointed ears, short blonde hair, and this very odd looking coat that seems to have different knickknacks stuck in it. There's like a vial of what looks like red dust. There's a lodestone, just several interesting knickknacks. And she is keeping her distance, but is hard to miss. And she is scribbling something down as she kind of glides along to keep up.
Okay, so you are definitely drawing in eyes as you are floating around here. There don't seem to be many children, but there are adults. It seems a lot. The same story is being told in the faces of all of these refugees. These were the older brothers and older fathers and mothers who stuck with the family plot until the last moment, and now they are gone. The children and the older folks seem to have been sent ahead. And as they see you, that story that they tell is one that Billy will be able to document and record in her mind as the war is coming. And what she would know, Billy, from being this close to the proverbial front that has not happened yet, a kingdom to the north of demons and darkness is coming, and it means only the utter destruction of the Shieldlands. And as rumor and threat became fact, these people are heading south, and where the promise of months or weeks have become days or hours, the faces have become dire. And Billy, your decision now is, how long will you stay in this place?
Getting out as soon as possible is kind of her thing. But she when people are looking at her, she kind of dismisses the hand and tries to get down and kind of walk among them, but still apart. Trying to be discreet, but it's failing miserably.
Okay. And I apologize for my mic too. I'm getting too close to it. I need to. I'm cradling my mic, and I need to stop doing that. I'm acting like I'm podcasting, and I'm not. I'll try this. So as you're sitting there, and as you're taking all of this area in, and as you are tracking your story and realizing the time has come now to head south, you see that there are people that are not moving south but are moving north. And you see a blue-haired woman, you see a man wearing a mask, an old knight, and a man with one hand. And the man with one hand waves to you.
Oh, well, that looks fun. I skip over. Oi, hi. Hello. You, going the wrong way?
No, we're right where we need to be.
Right, but, south is that way.
You're currently north. And
right.
he pulls out a letter. Would you like to know what it says?
What, your mail? I don't need to go through your mail.
Oh, this is for you, love.
Creepy. Is he? He's just creepy. Sure, I love fan mail. You must know me. Great, yes, I love it. I will take it from him. And I look at his, is it just like a stump? His
You
other
can't
hand?
see you can't see the actual ending of the wrist. It's pinned up. So there's a shirt covering it, but the cuff is pinned up to his forearm.
You do anything fun with that?
I used to.
Okay, I'll open the letter.
That must be the mouth that gets her in trouble.
What are you talking about? do.
Haley's been trying to hold in laughter this entire time. Her face has just been getting redder and redder and redder.
I wink at her as I read this.
It is a very flowery, it's a very diplomatic summons, as Lord Homer is requesting that Billy travel south to his citadel and speak with him about an urgent matter.
This guy could use an editor. So, right. How'd you know I was gonna be here? That's weird. You a weirdo?
I'm not the one flying around on a magic hand. But
No, it's very normal for me, so.
it's not normal for everyone else, so
Should be.
If
It's a
you-
great way to travel.
I'm sure it is, but it's also a very distinct way to travel.
Thank you. Right.
welcome.
So, hi everyone. Billy Swan. You may have heard of me. Who are you exactly?
Name
Who
is
am I?
Grey Fox.
No, I know you. You're my new stalker. No, you in the mask. That's cool. Who are you? Tell me about you.
Name's Grey Fox, and I'm sorry I haven't heard of you.
Don't worry, you will. Blue hair. You are. That's great. I like that. That's a good look. What's your name?
Thank you. My name is Kaylee.
Nice. Kaylee. And you, good Sir Knight. Don't need to ask. Just know.
My name is Rexarian, and I am a paladin of Tritharion.
Do I know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Great. You mind Rex? Rex sound cool? Rexy?
Rex is fine.
Yeah,
yes.
but is Rexy fine?
I would prefer not Rexy.
Great, good to know.
but
I
Rex-
will.
Rex is good. We're
I'll
solid
remember that.
with Rex.
Rex.
Rex is right in there. It's fine.
Great. Grey Fox, Kaylee, and Stalker Boy. Cool. Great. I think this is going to be a great trip. I'm feeling it already. Oh, yeah.
I do think I got the best name, but
I mean, by far. It's the most accurate, so far as I can tell. Besides Grey Fox, that is just... I like it.
A little on the nose, but gets the job done.
Do you sell those? I like it.
No, the handmade.
Oh. Cool.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with these constant allusions to handmade, and she's floating around on a hand, and but we'll just go ahead and go with it, I guess, as I...
Oh, he's good.
Well,
Good.
if you decide you don't like Kaylee, feel free to name me something else. I've had a few names. Kaylee, I've worn the shine off of that one for a while.
All right. I'll think of
About
it.
75 years. About time to change it, huh?
Sure, I'll brainstorm on the way.
Shall we?
Yeah, sure. I guess we'll walk on the ground. You notice she is fastidiously clean right now in this moment.
You can float if you wish.
No, I'm fine. No, I love to walk on the ground. It's...
Just by the way that you're speaking, you can tell that you do not, but you can
Oh
float
my
if you wish.
god. Stalker boy, good call. No, I'll walk. I want to get to know these guys. Sexy Rexy, not Kaylee and Grey Fox.
Not Kaylee. All right.
Do you have any of your material that I can read?
Oh yeah, I got tons. And she pulls out a big, very no pictures or anything except her picture, of course, on the back. Academic looking paper full of very, very obscure arcane words. It barely looks like it's in common.
This is unique.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Just kind of puts it in his cloak.
Yeah, no, you'll like that one. That one's... Yeah, good idea. It'll keep you awake, though. Keep you awake all night.
That's what I was going for, yes.
Yes.
Have to read something while on watch, right?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So do you guys know anything more about this than what's in this fun, creepy letter with the flowery language that needs to be edited? I can edit for this guy. That's probably a good use of my time.
He could use the work, but we have a few days' travel before we get to the Citadel.
A few days. That's great. A few days. Cool.
How long? How long does your hand last?
Not that long. I mean, where are we going to the Citadel? I could get us there really fast, but we can just walk. I love walking.
We need to walk.
Fine, we'll walk.
Only you had a horse.
It died 3 days ago in the meditation chamber.
Oh my god! Did he murder a horse? What is happening?
Technically, I could turn into a horse, but no.
Technically, I could summon one, but
Oh
I think that defeats the purpose.
Technically, I could teleport us all in like a second, but we'll just walk. It's fine.
What's the problem
Technically,
with
I could
walking?
clap, but it doesn't sound right.
This guy. I like that. Write that down. That's good. Right.
Alrighty. Well, as the camera pulls back up from this newly earthbound group as they begin to head south, our camera can see in the distance the citadel that is their destination. And as these four, with their one-handed companion leading them, make their way to the citadel, we see one lone figure who has now descended from the mountains, the last of her order, as she proceeds to the citadel as well. And I believe that is where we will take a quick break as we all jump out and refresh ourselves as I figure out whether or not I can punch OBS into submission for doing things I don't want it to do. But everybody stay tight. We will be back here in less than 5 minutes. Be right back. sides.
He'll be a real person on the other side.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Thanks for sticking with us here on this fun-filled Saturday night, which is an all right night for fighting. Oops, and I have not muted anything. And so as you guys are, yes, it was Lauren. 2 Laurens is whatever. So as we are sitting down and drilling back into what we have experienced so far with the Shieldlands, we know that war is coming. We know that for lack of a better word, a fellowship is being formed by Lord Homer. But there is one member of the fellowship that has not been given a letter with a red seal, who has not been asked by Reynard, you want to know what it says? Because he doesn't have a letter for this person. And as we get to the Citadel at Arimport, we see that the monk, the last of her order, enters through the gates and is greeted with a situation unlike any in which she's ever experienced. Giddy, you are currently in the Citadel at Amonfort. What would you like to do? You know that you are supposed to see the Lord, but where he is, you haven't the foggiest.
What does the Citadel look like? What am I greeted with?
You are greeted with what you have seen a lot of over your brief travels from the mountains down to the Citadel. You see people wanting refuge. They are coming in, and as soon as they realize that the interior of the Citadel is packed as far as where the soldiers will allow people to park carts or put possessions, people are being forced and sent further south in the hopes that they will be given refugee status by other lands beyond the Shieldlands. You see that there are military operations as siege weapons, and lumber is being collected and heavy rock is being collected. Barrels of pitch are being stacked along the walls. It appears very much like the Citadel is preparing for, at the very least, a massive confrontation. At the most, Armageddon.
Oh, jeez. I am just completely overwhelmed. I've never been around this many people. I imagine it's really loud. I'm going to try and find a space that maybe looks like it's unoccupied so I can kind of gather myself. I still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to expect other than there's some great mission for me, or I'm on something of great importance, and I just need a moment to kind of figure out what I need to do.
Okay. Roll a perception check whenever you do find a spot. You're able to, because of your stature, and you're not encumbered with a bunch of furniture and possessions. You're able to find a place to kind of lean for a moment. So, okay. So with a 14, as you look around, you just see everything. There's this crush of humanity. People, there's more emotion in the gaze than you're quite used to, as you see the sadness, the loss of homes, the loss of loved ones, of not knowing where everybody is, and it's definitely physically oppressive, as it kind of, you feel it in your chest. And as you're starting to kind of drift away into this own type of empathy for these people, you see just ahead of you on a fence post, a sparrow flies down. And it hops around. And it whistles a bit.
I can talk to small animals. Wait, hold on. Let me look up what this does. I can, through sounds and gestures, I can communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts. I'm going to kind of like kneel down and hold my hands out and say, are you lost too?
It hop, and then it jumps into your hands, and you don't hear it say anything in its twitter, but in your mind, almost like a breath against the small of your neck, you hear, I'm not lost.
Maybe, I guess I can't really talk to it, but It's nice to see something beautiful in this place. I think I need to go on now. And I'll lift my hands in the air and it kind of do that thing you do with birds where you're like, you like throw it and hope that it flies.
It You do it and you pull your hand back down and it's still in there as its
No.
little claws have sunk into your finger as it did one of these. And when it comes back down, it looks at you, and in the back of your head again, you hear, "What are you looking for?"
I'm looking for Lord Homer. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna kind of like look around. I wonder if like anyone's playing a joke on me, and then I'm gonna look back at the sparrow and like narrow my eyes. Can you hear me?
It looks like a sparrow. It looks like it's not paying any attention to you other than being in your hand. But again, that brush or that feeling against the back of your neck, and it says, "The one that's in charge here, I know."
Where is he?
Its head kind of cocks, and it, you think, gestures towards this large center keep area.
I wish I had something to give you, but, and I kind of like shrug my shoulders since I can't really motion since he's in my hands. I don't have anything. But
Again?
here's what I'll tell you. I owe you a favor. Find me if you need anything.
Like the sound of a favor. And then in the back of your head again, you hear, "Don't worry, I stole some bread. I'm full."
Oh my God. I'm
And
gonna
he
cry
takes
again.
up and he flies towards the keep, and you see him flying, but every so often he'll fly about 50 feet, and then he'll kind of corkscrew spiral and come back about 15, and then corkscrew spiral and fly 50, and kind of corkscrew back. As long as you're following him, he continues to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just follow him. I'm gonna kind of, I know where I'm going now, and I'm refocused, so I'm going to be able to, as best as I can, being in a new place, zone everything out and just follow him.
Okay, make a wisdom check for me to see if you are, just how well you can do this. It's tough. This is your first time in such a crush, and you're able to, you focus enough that you kind of use the bird to orient your path and kind of focus your chi as you just decide that that's the guide. The rest of it, and it does, the din kind of drops a bit. The feelings of sadness drop a bit as you now have purpose and you follow it. And you head inside the building. And as soon as you walk in, the sparrow flies in a bit, but then kind of turns around and goes back out as when you walk in through the main doors, there are several massive chandeliers that are sitting there. They are lit with candles. In here, even what used to be a very, not necessarily an opulent area, but it had tapestries against the wall. It was rich. And but here now there are stacks of grain and barrels of fresh water, as anything that may be needed for a siege has been rolled into the inner keep to keep it safe from potential falling debris. And this has become more warehouse than stateroom. But as soon as you walk in, you notice that there are several uniformed people that come over, and one of them, "May I help you?"
I'm looking for Lord Homer.
"Is he expecting you?"
Yes.
"What's your name?"
Kidnap.
He looks around. And make me an intimidation check here to see just how well this guy responds to.
I'm very small. I'm very scared.
"Listen, the Lord is a busy man. He needs to, there's a lot of things going on here. He can't get up. I apologize. Be on your way."
Please. Maybe he was expecting Yaza. I've come in his place. It's very important that I see him.
He looks around, and you see somebody that's not dressed in armor, but does have a uniform of some type on. And he says, Jeffers, someone for the Lord. And you see the man in the uniform come over. He's older, head is shaved. What hair he does have is white. Yes, young lady, may I help you?
Yes, I was sent here by my master, Yaza, to meet with Lord Homer.
I'm afraid I don't know of what you speak, my dear, but what does this pertain?
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I just need to speak with him. And now that I'm saying all this, I don't actually know that I know of Lord Homer. Do I? Am I metagaming right now? Damn it! Damn it! Oh, fuck. Dude, I don't know. I'm so lost.
No, right. No. Yaza told you about Lord Homer. You don't,
Okay,
you don't
good.
personally know Lord Homer. That's what I thought you were
Okay.
asking, yeah.
I thought
No,
maybe
yes,
that
you
I
know
had
the
just
name.
heard the name and I was like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking for Lord Homer. I don't know what I need to speak to him about. Only that it is very important.
Jeffers leans forward, and by leaning forward, he leans more into your confidence. Are you with the other group?
Yes.
Roll a deception check with advantage because he thinks he's put something together.
I guess super great.
Tell you what, come with me. We will, perhaps we can talk to the Lord on the other side. And he kind of gestures, and as you begin walking deeper into the keep, you head upstairs and you see the arrow slits that have the windows have been narrowed to the point where they're now closed to arrow slit depth. And every time that you go past one of those, you see on the ledge outside a little head look in, and then when you go up, you see it from the other side as he seems to be following with you. You get up into an audience hall that is again a warehouse packed with the things that would be acceptable for a siege. There are just grains and additional armament, blankets and water. There is a very tall man with salt and pepper hair, about shoulder length, as he sits there as he's being given all of these things to watch, and people are constantly coming up to him. But you see now that he has shushed away this group of what look to be military-minded men and women, and he turns, and there is another group there, a group that seems to be fronted by a man with one hand and a dark blue cloak. There is a very sparkly woman, a woman with blue hair, a knight, and a man wearing a mask, or you believe it to be a man wearing a mask. And Jeffers leans down and says, "Do you know anyone in this group? They just arrived."
I think at this point I'm thinking I'm going to do whatever I can to get further into the keep. So I'm going to say, yes, I do remember that Yaza told me that I was to meet with others. Thank you so much. What was your name?
Jeffers.
Jeffers.
I'm the butler here. God bless
Thank you. And I take his hand and I hold it. Like,
when you take it, a couple kernels of birdseed fall out.
yes.
You have friends.
Thank you.
And he bows and walks out. Giddy, as you turn around and engage, without calling any attention to yourself, you see Lord Homer's back straighten a bit as he turns and sees you and says, Now we can stop. And he waves you over.
I come as bidden.
He takes the group of you over into a corner that is relatively quiet, as here inside the keep, inside the citadel, everything is action, and every place and space is being occupied or utilized for what you can only assume is the coming war. Lord Holmer turns and looks at all of you and says, "Thank you all for coming." And Reynard kind of pulls back a bit as he again drops his only hand to his sword, not in a menacing way, but just as a place to set it. And he bows a bit as he takes several steps back, looks at all of you, and nods and walks off.
Bye, Stalker Boy. Is Giddy's face still kind of tear smudged at all?
I think I've stopped crying by now.
Okay.
I'm a very stoic. Giddy's a very stoic crier, although I am not. So.
Copy that.
Thank you all for coming. These are dark days. I will cut to it. How many of you have heard of the Valley?
The Valley?
There's many.
Capital V. You may all roll history checks for me. Billy may do so with advantage.
But do I already know?
You know exactly what it is.
Okay.
19.
Oh, the capital V Valley.
Oh, that valley.
It's the large V
right.
Valley.
19 for me.
Okay, Billy, what you would know is the Valley is a fairy tale, for lack of a better word, in the Shieldlands. The Valley is a magical place that if you go to the Valley, if you're a good girl or a good boy, when you grow up, you may be a king or queen. If you go to the Valley is a place that grants wishes. It is a place with gold and diamonds and fairies and rainbows. It's a beautiful place that everyone should seek to go to. You would know it to be more of a fairy tale told to children nowadays to get them to do the bidding of their parents. Beyond that, any knowledge of the Valley is just encapsulated within that type of construct. It is a tool of a parent.
Right. So are you talk? I think he's talking about the place where you go if you're like a good little girl, is what I'm picking up.
I shake my head. You don't want to go to this valley.
Why?
They are one and the same.
I look at Lord Holmer and I whisper, Pyrocost. And then I say, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Good. I've only read it. I've never heard it aloud.
What was
Yes.
that? Pyro what?
Pyacost,
Pyacost.
the first flame.
I feel
He's
like
part
I'm
of the
missing
legend.
information.
Okay.
Here are the facts. The Shieldlands are doomed. No matter what we do, we are going to fall to an army of evil. It cannot be stopped. So, I must take unconventional measures. There are many of my generals that wish to put you on the front lines, the 5 of you, some of you to put in chains. And he looks at Grey Fox. I wish to offer you a proposition. The legends state that the Valley, it's been bastardized into a children's tale, but the legends state that if someone were to go through the Valley and take a liege-blessed person they would gain the power of a god. It's fantastic and it's absurd. But if it's true, it could save us.
Or it could bring about a different kind of doom.
Yes. You could find the power. You could all die trying. You could become gods and smite us as much as the enemy coming from the north. But it is a chance. Prophecy says... I am not to speak of that.
Speak what you were going to say.
This moment has been prophesized. You have all been prophesized. My role is part of this prophecy. I am to... It is a book. But you all shall write it. I have simply given it a title.
Whose prophecy? Who told you?
The lands. And for a moment, his eyes drift over to Kaylee, and he moves away quickly. The land dies with us. It is its only chance. You are our only chance. It's absurd. But I ask only that you go to the shrine that speaks of the valley, of where it used to be, where they could go inside it, and if you do not believe, you may leave at that point. You will be given 10,000 eagles by Reynard. You may leave. Or you may save us. I know no other choice for you.
I want to insight check him. Is he like sincere, telling the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody that may do this because he's been monologuing, so you can.
We're getting a good read on him.
24.
Nice.
Since I'll go with the highest, as you all be able to hear this, Greyhawk, this man is desperate. He is doomed, and he knows it. And he believes every single word he's saying.
See, I say, so a doomed lord picks at straws. You believe what you say. That doesn't mean it's the truth. You just believe it wholeheartedly. Why haven't you, like you say, everything is doomed, amassed a great exodus for your people?
I've got as many out as I can. But beyond the title of the book, I have a small part to play. I must buy you time.
Sorry, what's the title of the book? And is it open for negotiation?
Everything is open for negotiation.
I like this guy. He's got a
Haley
doomed
takes
quality
a
about
food of
him.
her drink.
So that title...
The Valley of Soot and Skull.
Ominous, I like it. I mean,
Lord-
I'd read it.
Lord Homer,
Knight?
you say that you believe if we travel to this valley, that that's the key to defeating the darkness that has taken over this land. What would you do with that power, you yourself?
I will never know. Only the power is given to those that travel through the valley, that best its tests. And once you get to the other side with a liege-blessed person, you will be given the gift of a god, if the text are to be believed.
Who is this person that you are supposed to bless so that we may take them across?
I will bless you all, but the person that you need to take, and he nods, and you see a woman probably in her mid-60s come forward wearing a white, very long robe covering from mid-throat all the way down to ankle. It's got a very deep hood that is currently pulled back. Her hair is white and gray. She's human. This is Sister Ernestine. She is the last of her order. If you take her through, prophecy will be fulfilled. There is a catch. Another catch. The enemy knows of the valley. They are moving against it, which makes me believe that we are right about its power. They have cursed everyone of religious order here in the Shieldlands. Sister Ernestine is afflicted as well. Her magics are keeping her alive, but she only has a few days. And the woman nods, but has yet to say a word. Time is of the essence. And the enemy is on the hunt. I am sorry.
Who is the enemy?
The army to the north is my enemy. I must face them, but they are sending a dog, a hound by the name of Duke Dundalok. He is... I don't know what he is, but he searches for the valley, not for its treasure, but to stop us from fulfilling a prophecy that could stop the advance of his host. It must be true. It must be. It must be.
I would
Or
like.
he's just as foolish as you.
Perhaps.
Rixarian would like to approach Sister Ernestine and try to determine if he can ascertain the nature of whatever it is that's afflicting her.
Yeah, absolutely. I will allow a religion check here.
Okay.
You get the feeling that being as close to this woman as you are, you immediately know she is of the same faith that you are. And she is of the last of her particular branch of this religion. And you can sense that there is a sickness about her. You're not, with that role, you can't glean too much from it, but you can tell that if you're trying to verify whether or not the Lord knows what he's talking about, she is cursed in some way.
All right. I will I will attempt to remove the curse.
Go
That's
right ahead for
fucking
me.
Bold.
Go right ahead for me. And what I want you to roll here is I want a wisdom check.
Oh,
Actually, I want a
okay.
wisdom saving throw.
Ooh,
Please.
All righty.
Okay, so Rex, describe how you would remove a curse from somebody. Is it like a laying on of hands? Is it a physical contact type of thing?
It's part of his divine repertoire. So he would hold his holy symbol, and then he would put his hand upon Sister Ernestine's shoulder, and just begin to try to use the will of his god Tretherian to remove the curse that is laid upon her.
As soon as you touch her and you close your eyes and blink, when you open them, you're in a room of pitch darkness. You are no longer in the citadel. And almost as if a door with light behind it opens and cracks, spilling in this kind of arc of beams, you actually hear squeaky hinges of the as this door opens, and you see the silhouette of a massive figure and the heavy footfalls. And as the person is outlined in this, you can make out any features, but you can make out certain distinctions that there is. It appears to be masculine. It appears to have short hair on the sides that is very long on the top and seems to be swept back. But these are only hints that you get from when the light kind of betrays certain features. You seek to cure her, Knight.
I do.
You cannot.
Who are you?
Your lord calls me Duke Dunderlock. Who are you, Knight?
Just a defender. I'm no hero. I'm just a defender. But I will save this woman. And I will stop you.
Well then, this shall be fun. The rest of you, as you're standing there and you see him touching Sister Ernestine, you see blood begin to come out of his nose, his ear, and his left eye as Rex is holding and he's frozen in place. But his contact with Sister Ernestine remains, and you see where the blood's coming out of Rex's left eye, left nose, and left ear. It's coming out of the right eye, right nose, and right ear of Sister Ernestine as both of them are frozen.
Can I touch Rex and try and pull his hands away?
If you're trying to forcibly kind of remove him or disengage him, I'm going to need a strength check here as you are.
I think before I do that, I'll grasp his elbow and his bicep, because I imagine he's much taller than me, and I'll kind of give him a shake and say, Knight, good night, can you hear me?
He would
Rex.
feel like he was carved from stone. Nothing gives on him when you touch him.
Rex, you can't just go grabbing women. It's Rex.
Yeah,
Rex.
I'm going to try and pull then with some strength.
I'd assist
Yeah.
using
Actually-
my sword.
Haley
I
would
think-
also go for it.
I think I can use dexterity instead of strength.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ha!
So you get
Oh,
advantage
sis.
on this. Yeah, you get advantage
Okay.
because you got help coming in the form of numerous people.
That's much better. Thanks, guys.
Okay,
We
so
did it.
with the good old-fashioned teamwork, as you are kind of able to use sheer geometry to part these two, one person on the hand, one person on the knees, one person kind of pushing and squeezing them apart, you guys are able to break the hold as Rex, you come zipping back into the Citadel. Sister Ernestine slumps a bit as Lord Homer grabs her around underneath the arms and kind of keeps her lifted as he has her there. Sister, sister. And she, a moment later, comes to and begins to wipe away the blood from her nose. I would like you to roll another wisdom saving throw for me, Rex.
Rex!
Rex!
You guys see Rex as he stands there and, looks to try to maintain his hold, and you just see him slump to the ground.
Oh no.
Is
Grey
he
Fox.
unconscious?
You can roll me a medicine check.
Okay.
I was gonna do that as well, yeah.
16.
He's breathing.
That's what you get for just grabbing women without asking them. Rex,
I'm gonna check the woman since Billy's checking him.
Sorry about that, everybody. Yes, Rex rolled a nat 1. I forgot to go over to the other screen.
18 for the old woman. Are you all right? Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Yes. So Sister Ernestine's able to come back around as she is in Lord Holmer's arms, but Rex, after rolling the nat 1, is lying there, and he seems completely, almost like, for those of you that have a clerical bent or druidic bent, the spell Gentle Repose, as somebody is laid to rest and they seem completely perfect in that movement. He seems as if he has been interred, yet he's still breathing. He's just...
Does it look like it's some kind of magical effect, or that he's physically passed out?
You can't tell. You know that medically there's nothing that seems to be wrong other than the blood that came out of his nose. There doesn't seem to be anything currently wrong with him. He just seems to be frozen. And his eyes are closed. It's as if he's asleep. He's not like wide-eyed and staring into the middle distance or something. He's just asleep.
It looks like it's a magical effect, though, right? Or some sort of spell, maybe.
You would guess that it has something to do with it because of just the bizarre nature of the contact and how rigid that the two of them were when they were holding on to one another and they were bleeding from opposite sides. It seems fairly arcane or has some type of magical bent to it.
Ooh.
I'm going to kind of, brush him off a little bit and try to make him more comfortable, and I'm going to cast guidance on him as I'm doing this. Just saying, buddy, I don't know what you're going through right now, but, it'll be okay. We'll get through this. It'll be fine.
Not Kaylee. I have a great... Do you think this is magical with the bleeding and the holding and the whatever?
Well, it's definitely strange. This is not natural.
Great. I'll try something. This seems fun. I slap him across the face and cast Dispel Magic. Wake up!
That's good.
Brew?
I think you just wanted to slap me.
Yes, you're welcome.
Not quite the way that I would have done it, but okay.
Pretty good, though.
So with a slap and an arcane expulsion, whatever was holding Rex in place disappears as the power is able to be dispelled, and Rex, your eyes flutter open as you are again among the land of the living.
Hey, sexy Rexy. Welcome back.
I saw exactly what it is that's doing this. Where's Lord Holmer? Am I still on the ground? I assume.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
prone. I'll spend half my movement to not be prone, and amble up as quickly as I can, wearing full plate armor, which is probably 5 to 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll give you a hand since she was sitting right there.
And
they're able to get you up. Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
by
So I would look to Lord Holmer and say, I saw this Duke that you spoke of. He even identified himself. Whatever it is that is in this valley, though it may not be what you think it is definitely something that they are keen to stop us from getting from, which means we must get there immediately. You have my help on this. I am in your service now. We will get this done, or at least I will.
I appreciate it, Knight. I do not ask it of any of you others. I ask only this. Go to the shrine. Take the sister. If you choose not to go in, Reynard will give you money. I know some of you care not for that, but the good you could do with it could perhaps travel above gold. That is all I ask.
I think we should head out as soon as possible.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like kind of look towards Billy as like we're the only ones who hasn't said anything, and just like, I don't really know about this. Not really my cup of tea.
I mean, it sounds like it will make a great story.
Billy kind of nudges Greyhawk and says, "Come on, it sounds like fun. Have a drink," and she offers him a flask.
Yeah, he looks and takes a swig.
Lord Homer immediately turns, and from somewhere, Jeffers comes up with a tray and a decanter on it. If there are drinks, this is a celebration. If you are to go, it might be the last time that I can share one with you. As he begins to pour out like a brandy into several glasses.
It could all work out.
What's that? I heard you both at the same time. I didn't hear what you said, but I heard you both at the same time.
I said Kaylee offers him her flask. Even though he's pouring drinks, she still holds it out to him.
He takes it. He kind of sniffs it for a second. What's it smell like?
I mean, it's some fruity whiskey. Like, she homebrews her
Fruity
stuff.
whiskey.
So normally she ends up putting...
Moonshine.
Well, no, normally she ends up... yeah, basically. Normally she ends up putting fruit in the vat after it's done to just let it kind of pick up some flavor.
It's interesting. It's
refreshing.
I say to Lord Homer, don't mind the pine cones.
Good journey. And he takes a drink. And I will have him roll a con roll to see if he can handle it.
This poor guy.
It is moonshine.
Right. Well, eventually it'll get done rolling, and I will go back to the playmat, so whenever it ultimately finishes, 12.
There you go.
Okay, DC of a 10 on that one, as Lord Homer is able to... It's lovely. It's lovely.
Maybe you should leave some with him. It's not all doom and gloom.
It seems to maybe serve medicinal purposes as well. You should probably take it with you. He takes a glass of his own stuff and kind of immediately chases it, which doesn't seem to help quite as much as he would like, but anything you need, we can prepare you. If you food, horses will be ready. Reynard is preparing 20 different groups to ride in different directions. Hopefully, if somebody is looking for the valley, this Dundalok, he will be confused.
Right, but apparently he saw Rex.
Oh, he saw me. He knows exactly what I look like.
Cool, good job.
We will put an armored man with each of the riders.
Ooh, good call, Holmesy. That's nice.
Good.
Homer, but okay.
Tell us
What's your name?
What's that?
Oh, like his first name?
Any name.
Gregor.
Okay, Greg Z. Holmes. That sounds right. Greg Z. You don't need to be so doom and gloom, it might all work out.
It might. There's a chance. And where there's a chance, there is hope. So as we drill down to the end of this particular moment, the journey towards the shrine continues as the group that is before you has been formed under Lord Homer to be the caretakers of Sister Ernestine as they are taken, or she is taking them to the shrine that leads to the valley. But as we began this journey, so shall we end, as in the Valley of Soot Skull, the characters you see before you here, with Sister Ernestine at their head, are covered in ash and soot and skulls and soot and ash. But as it all bleeds down around, we see this great beast come out of the sky, and as it turns and breathes a gout of absolute volcanic fire from its mouth. The last thing you all see is Sister Ernestine turns around and she screams, "Get behind me!" And a blue shield appears in front of her as the flames ripple along the sides and she begins to scream.
Sister Ernestine.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will end this first premiere episode of the Valley of Soot and Skull.
Nice.
Ooh.
Hot stuff.
Wow.
Oh,
Good show, everyone.
Yeah.
That was great.
Greg, I think that's the fastest you've ever made someone cry that I've seen.
Oh my God,
That was
yeah.
impressive. I
The
mean, like,
record, I
wow.
think.
You even told me
Great
that we
job.
were gonna role play at the beginning, and so I was like kind of prepared, and then you still made me cry.
Yay! No, I'm not trying
Just the effect he has on people that he makes.
I did it.
Right. Yay! No. Anyway, let's go around and talk to these wonderful people. What a great group. What a fun first episode.
Stop it.
Really love these characters already. Goodness gracious. What an awesome group to kind of come together so quickly like that. Let's go around in let's see, we'll go in reverse order, sorta. I can't remember who I went with first. But Heavenly, let's start with you and tell us where you are, how'd you like it, and where we can find you online.
I had a great time. I feel so lucky that I'm able to do this. It was so fantastic. I'm looking forward to exploring these characters with what seems like a really great crew. I currently have a very angry cat on my lap who's holding me hostage because I'm speaking very loudly and she doesn't like it. And so I'm like kind of nervous. But you can find me on Twitter at tis_aliens. Stop it. And she's gone. And you can also find me on the Monster Crush podcast if you like talking about monsters and cryptids. But I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Even though it is 5:30 in the morning for me, I'm like every Saturday now. I'm like, yay! I get to stream with Greyhawk. So I'm so excited.
Fantastic. And speaking of things that are gray, and not me, let's drop down to Pro Gray Fox. How are you? What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hey, I am Pro Restarter, also known as Greyhawk here. You guys can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Where I tweet about all the games that I play, because I play in a lot. I stay up crazy hours. You can find me here now on Saturdays, because I can say that now, playing with these lovely people. You can also catch me here on Mondays as well. Playing Violent Villainous Matthias, Teen Angsty Boy. And, throughout the week, playing with lots of games. I play with a lot of content creators, a lot of great people. So happy to be a part of this community. Thank you for having me. Everyone was great.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, thanks for being here, and thanks for being so committed that you left that mask, which I'm sure was like nuclear hot. Right? You're like,
I'm a
no,
fan right here. Like right now,
I'm wearing it.
fan.
The mask is not coming off. Awesome. All right, man, let's scoot over to Brew. Brew, how'd you like the first session, and where can we find you, my friend?
Wow, that was an intense opening. That was, pretty much set the stage for what we're about to go through. I feel like it's about to be kind of a gauntlet, and I don't know. I'm starting to feel like most of us are going to be dead, but that's okay. That's fine. Had a really good time with all of you guys. Had a lot of fun. As far as where you can catch me, I mean, I'm on Twitter. I don't do a whole lot else other than that. Greg is the only person desperate enough to take me for anything. So no, I'm just joking.
Well, I tell you what, man, keep your
What?
DMs handy, buddy. You're gonna get some calls.
And but I am starting next Friday, Greg, right? Next Friday.
Next Friday for Conan. Yep.
Yeah, next Friday I'll be on with Age of Conan with Lauren up there as well, or up there. I don't know.
One
One
of
of
those-
those,
with the first one,
I
ways.
think
Yeah.
you got it right. I think you
And
got it right.
and I'll be playing a Zatoro, a Zingaran pirate. So I'm actually really excited about that.
Awesome, buddy. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. And as we head north from that camera position to this way, let us go to Eris and our blue-haired druid. How was it? Where can we find you? And all that good stuff.
Well, that was so much fun. I've played Kaylee a few times in a couple different like one-shots and mini campaigns and stuff, so I quite love bringing her out and playing with her. That sounded really bad. That's fine. You can catch me on Twitter saying other ridiculous stuff. And in my bio there, you can find all the other places to catch me. I make stuff and hoop and stuff. And that's fun. So,
Awesome,
I also play a lot of D&D.
Well, welcome. And like I said, I really dug the initial completely indifferent way that she approached Reynard, and she was the perfect person to start with whenever we dipped down in and had that first conversation, because she was completely like, I'm not going to listen to you. I don't like you. And then that just kind of meshed. And I thought that was worked out really well because everybody followed a similar path with Reynard until he, and that was really, really nice. Speaking about constantly giving somebody problems, let's go over to Lauren. Lauren, how are you doing? Where can we find you online? And how did you like this evening?
I had a blast. I really don't want to stop playing. I've had such a good time and really awesome to meet everybody and get to play with everyone. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play this again. I'm super, super hyped. Okay. But you can find me around the internet on Twitter at @ThatSaltyGinger. I play here on Thursdays with Sean, Power Score RPG. We play some third level, very lighthearted shenanigans. I'm on Encounter Roleplay on Mondays, and then I play with some guy named Greg. I think that's right. Sometimes, like maybe all weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday nowadays. Conan, this, and then of course, best show in the world, Project Athena, Pulp Cthulhu, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. My favorite thing in the whole wide world to do. So come check that out if you like what Greg did, or more importantly, and likely if you liked what I did.
Right. Absolutely. No, it's all in good fun. For those of you that don't know the dynamic that Lauren and I have, this is it. She blasts me, I take it, I try to feebly blast back, it fails, and then that's just a circle, and it continues.
And then he makes me cry.
And then I make her cry, right?
A+.
Right. So
brand.
10 out of 10. Would do again.
Yeah, Heavenly, welcome. I think we're starting down the right path as well, too. I was able to make you cry, and what Bruce said was record time. So we're starting off to a fantastic drill in. As for me, I love being here on the Greyhawk channel. Shane has been fantastic. Everybody else here Devin has been fantastic. Helped me with all these tech things. You wouldn't know it by the way it opened, but I think I know that was more of that 3-lettered thing's fault than anything that I did, because of course, how could I possibly get anything wrong? Next week, I will strive to be better. I make no promises other than to try. I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitter. Please hit me up with a follow over on my channel if you like the cut of my jib. If you don't, let me know on Twitter that you don't like the cut of my jib, and I'll try to convince you otherwise, or just take your abuse. No, that's not how it was go. Let's all be friends. And so anyway, please come back here next week. As for my channel, Project Athena tomorrow night from 7 to 9 Eastern, Conan from 12 to 2 on Fridays Eastern, Firefly from 2 to 4 Eastern on my channel, and then Project Kronos on Saturdays from 2 to 4 next week. A lot of fun things going on. Check the old Twitter. Come on over there. We'll talk about this show. We'll talk about other shows. We'll talk about Lauren and how she's really upsetting me with the mean things that she says. And if somebody has a stat on how quickly I need to make somebody cry next week, let me know, and I will strive to do your work for you, chat. Otherwise, chat was fantastic tonight. I love you guys. Thanks for sticking around for the beginning, and hopefully you'll be here for the end, as we are going to tell, or strive to, a heck of a story. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Greyhawkians of all ages, until next week, stay gray. We'll see ya.